For the people who are tuning in right now, this is the man, the myth, the legend. And how do you say your last name, by the way?
Snearly.
Snearly. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure. We're here with Kevin Snearly of Gravity Feed right now. We are on a program called Sound Values. It is a wonderful December rainy day out there, I'd say so, man. So how you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good, man. That's another beautiful day in paradise.
This morning, it's 11:30 almost, but it's still in the a.m. It's still in the a.m., so it counts.
Well, it's always a morning for a musician.
Exactly. That's what we were talking about. I've had musicians show up for the interviews and they're covered in glitter from the show the night before. Still, they cover other, So that's pretty awesome, man. So yeah, we're on Sound Values today on DentonRadio.com here in the Discover Denton Welcome Center. We had Wassel Fest last night. Did you get out and about for that at all?
I did not. No.
Yeah, it took me when I drove up here, I had to be at work at 6, and the the audio on. Thank you, Jake. See, Jake coming through with the audio on the Mevo. Bam. Yes. Now it actually sounds good. Yeah, it doesn't sound terrible. My apologies to everybody who is like, this interview's awful. That's why you got to follow the Mevo camera directions that they put right here in front of you. All right. How's it sounding? Sounds good now that I'm doing it right? All right. It's the curse of the Saturday, All right. Yeah, I got up here last night, and it was just madhouse, trying to I found a parking spot all the way down at, where the community market was,
Whoa.
And then I walked up to work at LSA, so, it was just, one little spot. And for some reason, right where I parked, there was a sign that said tow-away zone, but I figured, let's get risky,
Oh, yeah.
In there. So, the first time that I saw you guys play Gravity Feed was actually at LSA. Because I've worked up there for a little while, and I actually got to introduce you guys. So my first question for you is, where did you grow up? Where are you from?
I'm from McAllen, Texas.
Okay.
Which is way down in the tip of Texas, almost Mexico.
Okay, so very south, kind of near Brownsville area?
Yeah, just 30, 45 minutes from there.
Okay, very cool.
Yep.
And what is kind of what's your first musical memory growing up as a kid?
Man, I was surrounded by music a lot. My mother's a musician.
Okay, very cool.
She's an awesome piano player.
That's what I like to hear.
And I grew up, I think probably the first for me would probably be doing piano lessons. I took piano lessons with a good friend of hers.
Okay.
When I was 6 or something like that.
So it just started pretty quickly.
Yeah. Did some. I started with violin for a little bit when I was 5, but
that's a hard one, man.
Yeah, and then I did a little piano. And then I used to take my violin and turn it to the side and start plucking it. And I knew I had to have a guitar.
Yeah, the guitar made a little bit more sense.
Yeah, but I grew up with a lot of classical music. My mother plays classical music on piano and did a lot of stuff in church, like singing and hymns and stuff like that. And it's kind of how I learned to.
A lot of the people who I've talked to, it's the parents are the ones who have kind of pushed them to get involved in music. Especially the people who I see who are more professional. When you see people when I perform, there's really not a whole lot of professionalism going on as far as professional play, but a lot of the people who I see who are playing all over the place, you guys are playing, I saw you guys play at a festival at one point. You guys are playing in Dallas, all over. Their musical background stems from a very, very young age, And myself, I can't read music, sheet music.
Yeah.
So is that a skill that you can do?
I can figure it out, but I'm not very good at sight reading. It's pretty tough for guitar, but I did go to college for it and everything.
Okay, very cool. So
I was better at it then.
Yeah. Did you start when did you kind of start to decide, hey, maybe I should start playing a band? What kind of got that idea? Did you have anything early in middle school or high school or anything?
Yeah, about my freshman year in high school or something, I met some guys and went and hung out and jammed and started a band. It was kind of like a punk, funk, just weird kind of funny stuff.
Yeah.
It was called Spuma.
Okay.
But yeah, it was this means foam from the beer.
Oh, okay.
Espuma in Spanish. And
oh, that's awesome.
I
was gonna ask what's that name? Where does that come from? But very cool. So did y'all play some shows? Did you play around? Where was this? Was this
down in McAllen?
Okay,
yeah,
McAllen. Okay.
We did a few shows here and there, a couple little showcase things. nothing too big or
Okay.
anything, but we had a lot of fun. We had some good friends that come out and see us, and I still have the old 4-track recording we made. I listen to it every now and then. I cringe at my guitar playing.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It was a good time.
That's the one thing about my hard drive crashing is whenever I was discouraged working on music, I'd go listen to stuff from years and years and years ago, and then realize how much it had progressed since then. And now I can't do that. So it's all right though. It's all right. So is college what brought you to Denton? Did you go to school at UNT?
I did not go to UNT. I went to Cedar Valley College, which is south of Dallas in Lancaster.
Okay, right on.
I actually went for audio engineering.
Very cool.
All this stuff.
Yeah, all this fun stuff right here. Yeah, you were saying you were here. You saw this when Drannon was setting all of this up. Yeah, bless that man.
Oh, he's such a great guy.
Yeah.
He's actually our drummer's roommate. So
really?
Yeah, we're good friends with him.
Very cool. Yeah, he's lectured me over a few cold ones before. He's like, "Do you want to be a musician or an audio engineer?
Yeah.
You choose."
Pick one.
And I'm like, both. No.
Yeah.
So you started playing. What did you go to? You went to school for music? Is that what you said?
I went for audio engineering.
Okay, audio engineering.
And when you do that, you have to take a lot of music classes.
Okay.
And, so I had to take like an ensemble and private lessons. And I had always been in choir throughout my junior high and high school life, and liked doing that. And I always played guitar, but I never really took it real seriously. And so the first semester I was there, I was like, well, I'll just do vocal ensemble.
Okay.
And it was cool. It was a lot more geared towards jazz, which is something I was not familiar with.
Not used to. You were used to like singing in the church and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
a very different vibe.
Yeah, very different.
How does that work? Like a jazz? Because I've never really seen something like that, like a jazz choir ensemble. Like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different ways, but there's a few like kind of a cappella tunes.
Okay.
And that stuff's tough. Like the harmonies are like real tight, close harmonies, and it's hard to hold your note against a half step above.
Yeah.
But there can be some beautiful, beautiful stuff in there.
So you've done some voice training. It sounds. I mean, like, 'cause you're saying a half step above.
Yeah.
So I can't sing, not for the life of me. But I think one thing that a lot of people, or something that I've kind of been thinking about, is like when I'm watching some people play. And you can answer this question, when you're playing, the tone of your voice needs to match the tone of the instrument or your chord. Like if you're playing a certain chord, your voice needs to match that chord, correct?
Sure, yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes you'll hear, or even like myself, like I would sing over something and it sound like that I make and it sounds terrible. I can give it to my friend and she'll sing over it and she hits like the right, I guess you could say note or key that you're supposed to have within your voice. So is that something that you take on stage when you're playing? It's something that's almost like a subconscious thing, or is this more of like a conscious decision? Like I have to sing in this pitch, or how do you keep track of that? I guess it's hard to word my question, but I think what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit of both. You have to at the end of the day kind of listen to the vibe of the song and get with that, but. For a lot of stuff, it's just simple, kind of bluesy kind of things like the stuff we do in a way. And some things are a little more melodic, but I'm not doing some.
Yeah. No falsettos. Because what I like about Gravity Feed is it's not just lyrics. You guys will just like throw some stuff in there. You guys will be playing, and then all of a sudden you'll have your lyrics come in. I mean, a minute and a half into the song or something, and it's really not. So much, even like your songs aren't necessarily based around lyrics all the time. It's not always a lyrical song, which I love. I like how it just kind of gets thrown in there. It has like I don't know, almost kind of like a ska type of effect in a way for me. Or like a Mighty Mighty Boss Tones type of vibe where you don't have lyrics happening the whole time. It's not necessarily the introduction to the song isn't based on the lyrics. The song doesn't follow lyrics. It follows a musical, a musical journey, which is something that I really like. So, when did you move up to Denton and why?
Well, geez, I guess it's been almost 12 years. I moved to Lancaster, which is down there south of Dallas, and I've never actually lived in Denton.
Okay.
Our drummer is from Denton, and the other guitar player is from Denton.
Okay.
And, originally Wisconsin, but he lived in Denton, went to
Wisco.
UNT. But yeah, I live in Carrollton now, so I'm kind of halfway between.
Well, thanks for making the drive, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you.
It wasn't too much traffic. It was
okay, good. Yeah, I gotta head to Dallas here in a little bit. So
fun.
Yeah, exactly. I know, it was fun. Yeah. So you just moved. You lived in Carrollton. So how did Gravity Feed start to form?
Well, that was like Geez, I think it's about 8 or 9 years. I looked on our Facebook page. It said January 2009.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I guess in January will be about 8 years.
That's what's up.
But yeah, so I had been playing around Dallas a little while with like some R&B soul type groups and stuff like that, and did that thing for a while. I was in like some kind of hippie band in college, and kind of my first foray into the jam band scene.
Yeah.
And some of those guys moved off. That kind of dissipated, and then I started doing some other stuff with some people in Dallas, and I was just kind of tired of it a little bit, so I decided to stop doing that, and didn't play with anybody for 3, 4, 5 months or so, and I started looking on Craigslist. I was like, let's see if there's any bands out there that want any guitar, but nobody wants guitar players. Everybody's got, there's the dime a dozen, right?
Yeah, it's the drummers.
Yeah, I know, drummers and bass players, man, they get all the gigs.
Exactly, yeah.
But so I looked on there, and I saw this band, said, we're looking for a keyboard player. That and they said listed the influences they were into, which was like Tower of Power, and New Master Sounds, and like Humphreys McGee.
Yeah, I know
Fish,
who all those are.
And
I have a Tower of Power records. Just a couple
man.
vinyls my dad gave me.
They're so good.
Yeah, they are.
So good. But yeah, so I saw, well, that's an interesting, because I really like funk, and I really like the jam stuff too. And so it just seemed like a good deal. And I just messaged them. I was like, hey man, I'm not a keyboard player, I'm a guitar player, but they said they had drums, guitar, saxophone, and bass. And I was like, well, if you like that Humphrey stuff, you got to have the dual guitar.
Yeah.
And I can kind of make my guitar sound like an organ. So they're like, well, yeah, come out and jam. And so I did, and had a good time. And I guess they liked me all right. And they're like, hey, you want to be in the band? So I said, yeah, sure.
So is that these guys that you know right now?
Not
or?
quite.
Not
No,
quite.
it was a different drummer, our buddy Jordan, and a different singer and guitar. He was the lead singer and guitar player named Corey. And it had a different sax player, this guy named Corbett, I think. And so we played around for 5 or 6 months, and we were like, all right, let's put out another ad for a keyboard player on Craigslist. And the sax player that was playing with us kind of quit. He didn't really want to do it. And so we put out an ad for a keyboard player again, kind of listed the stuff we were into. And then we got this message from this guy who was like, I'm a saxophone player. So tried to get a keyboard player, get a guitar player, and put one another out. And so we got a sax player. But he came and saw us play down at Green Elephant in Dallas. And really nice guy, a little older than us.
Yeah,
and,
for sure. Yeah, just a little.
So he came out and jammed with us one day, and we were just kind of blown away, man. This guy's just a great player.
Yeah, he can wail, man.
He's kind of legendary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a great guy too, just all around. So that started the main kind of Gravity Feed, 1.5.
Yeah. Where did the name Gravity Feed kind of come from?
Well, our old drummer used to be a painter. He would paint cars and stuff, and I guess that's kind of a paint gun. It was a gravity-fed.
Oh, okay.
Gun.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that are gravity, like hummingbird feeders.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And stuff like that. I kind of really like the name. It seems a pretty cool name. People are like, hey, that's a cool name. I was like, yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I like about it too. Is it's you always got to think about your name too. But like it's simple and it's memorable and it's thought provoking. It's not like I'm trying to like the Wallets or something like that. Like, who are we, the Wallets?
I'm sure that could be
I'm
a
sure
band name nowadays.
Yeah, it's somewhere out there. Yeah,
I never liked the something.
Yeah,
maybe the Beatles, but
the Doors. When I was in high school, I'm 29, and so when I was in high school, I remember we were trying to come up with like a band name, and we could not. We refused to be like the 3-letter name, like the or or like at the time it was all emo music, and so everything was like it was like the name of your band would have been like You're So Last Summer, or like 20 Seconds to Midnight, something like that, And we were like, that's not our sound. We don't want to sound like that. Like how can we come up with a name? So we like went onto like websites and tried to figure all kinds of stuff out.
Yeah, get the random generators and stuff.
Yeah, and we wanted to. We were doing like 80s psych rock. Like we were just kids having fun, and so we just settled on the name Lights, and we just went with Lights. And to this day, now I'm going to realize I'm probably going to have to go home and change my password, but part of my password on my computer is that band name.
Yeah, nice. What?
Yeah. Like to this day. And so that was it, and we just had funny songs, and his dad would come and laugh at us in the shed as we jammed, like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good time. And that's what it's all about. Like you were saying, it's getting together and jamming. And then the next thing you know, all of a sudden you got something really cool going on. You have this saxophone player show up and whoa, and that adds such a great dynamic to y'all's group as well, because I think a lot of people, they see all these young dudes, and then they see the older guy with the gray beard and and then he just goes. And that's what was so cool is like when he gave me the tip of the hat, it was great. Like, cause I love anybody who can play a saxophone, trumpet, like horn instruments, wind instruments are so cool. To me, I was just like, all right, if that guy likes it, then I think I'm doing something halfway decent here, So what was, you kind of had a few members jump in and out, people coming back and forth, and that happens. When was like the solid crew, the crew that we've seen now for, like I've seen for the past couple of years, when did those guys come together?
It's been about, I think, either 3 or 4 years. I'm trying to think kind of. There's been a few. We've been through a couple drummers before we found Matt Dixon.
Okay. And, awesome, dude. That guy is
was,
so cool.
Yeah, he's such a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wish he could be here.
I know.
He's got the dance class or something he's doing. Yeah. He's a busy man.
He is. Yeah. He's all over the place. I love it, though.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's probably been 3 or 4 years since Matt Brooks had joined the band, big tall guy. And, we've been going hard. Writing a lot of tunes. He's been writing a lot of tunes. We've all been kind of getting together and jamming and coming up with certain things. Every now and then we'll have a part that just, sticks around for 6 months to a year, and finally we'll work it into something. And,
yeah, I know exactly how you
build
feel
around that. But a lot of that stuff just comes from jamming and improvising. We like to do that.
So
a lot.
That was going to be my next question. You started answering it, so.
You can read your mind.
Yeah,
this
is weird.
Connected.
So yeah, when it comes to the writing of music, you guys do it kind of in a jam format where you guys get together. A few people have ideas, and you try to build off of those ideas. And I know exactly what you mean because I do a lot of sampling in my music, and I'll try to sample something. And then I'll be like, all right, I've been trying to do this for a week, and I can't come up with anything. And then a few months later, I'll come back to it, and all of a sudden, it's had a perfect fit, in some portion or some production. So, when you guys get together and jam, is it just kind of like 1, 2, 3, let's go? Or does somebody say
pick a key or something?
Yeah.
Or maybe a chord progression or something like that. But a lot of times, what I'll do is, I sit at home, play guitar all the time, and I'll just kind of come up, that's kind of a cool riff, and so I'll record it either on my phone or I had my laptop, the little webcam thing or whatever, or something. I'll just record just a little piece. I'll say, this is blah, 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 E minor, and I'll count it off. Kind of sometimes I'll do like mouth drums to kind of get a feel,
Yep.
And then I kind of have like a little library of that stuff, and that's how we've come up with a lot of the riffs and the chord progressions in our music. So
do you ever find yourself just like driving and you get an idea?
All the time. Yeah. I have the stupidest videos in my phone of me going
I have videos of me filming like my radio because I'll hear a jazz will come on 88.1 and I'm filming it and what the time is so I can go back later on to their KNTU where they list all of it, and I'll find what time was I listening to that song when I filmed it, and then I'll go and find that track. And it's not just maybe so I can sample it, it's just because I loved the song, so I need to know who
it's like a old school Shazam.
Yeah. Hey man,
more work involved.
This Windows phone, it's great, it does what it's supposed to do, but it lacks some of the newer technology things, like my dad called me and I'm getting ready to graduate and he was like, hey, would you like a smartphone? Would you use that a lot? Because I'm going to be a teacher. That's what I'm graduating with is my degree. And, it was funny. I was like, I could use it for education, but in my head, all I was thinking about is ways to promote music. Like, I could do this I could do that, all these things that I can have Shazam.
I've never downloaded it or used it. Just somebody else around me has it. So.
Yeah. I mean, one night I heard this song. I was at Loophole and I heard this piano riff came on, and I was like, I have to know what this is. And a girl was like, hold on, and did that, and she was like, oh, here you go. And I went home and got the track that night. So that's cool, man. When was do you remember like the first place that you played in Denton with all these guys?
Probably, I think probably Abbey Underground.
Abbey Underground?
Yeah, I think we played with Star Party.
Okay.
It's a long time ago. I think it was about 4 years ago in October. I remember the first, I think, yeah, maybe it was shortly before that or after that, we had played at Haley's.
Okay.
Yeah, and we played with the Human Groove Hormone.
Rest in peace,
I know,
Haley's. You know?
Haley's miss it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so.
Human Groove Hormone.
Yeah, yeah, they were
Nice.
cool. That's where
HGH.
HGH, yeah. That's where
yeah.
other guitar players. We actually stole their keyboard player for a while too in the interim.
These things happen.
Yeah, you know.
These things happen.
Yeah, we met those guys at one of those gigs, in Dallas where you get like a 30-minute set.
Yeah.
And there's like 12 bands,
Yep.
and they want you to like sell tickets and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
the Afton.
Yeah.
Afton. That was the band. That was the people I did it with. Yeah, I did that, and you had to sell 15 tickets. And
we didn't sell any tickets. We're just like, let's go play the game.
Yeah. They were like, if you don't sell a certain amount of tickets, you get. But I had a bunch of friends who wanted to come out, and I have friends who live in Dallas, and they can't get up to Denton that often. So I had a show. I sold like 20 tickets, which was cool. But I emailed when I got there. The event coordinator was probably one of the worst event coordinators I've ever experienced. Like, just so rude, and like I got there, and he's like, "What are you doing here?" And I was like, "I was told to check in at 5." He was like, "You don't play till like 10." He's like, "Just go away." Like, that's literally what he said. He's like, "Just go away."
Yeah.
And so when I played my show, I left, everything. And when the guy who booked me for the gig, or who does all that stuff for them, he asked me, "Do you want to play with us? Play again?" And I sent him an email like, "Hey, this is what happened. It was unprofessional. I had this, and this. Like, sorry, man. If I have to sell my own tickets, I expect a little bit of love from the guy who's getting paid off of my work, So unfortunately, won't be working with Afton again. Yeah, yeah. But some of those things are good because it gets you out into Dallas and you meet people.
Yeah. All the other bands were pretty terrible. It's like, oh, no.
Yeah, it happens.
Not our kind of stuff. With that one band, I was like, hey man, that's kind of cool. They did some kind of proggy stuff, a little bit funky, and so we hooked up with them. We became good friends, and we did some shows here and there. And
what's some of your favorite type of music? Like what do you listen to? What's in the car when we get in?
I love everything, man. Everybody says that. I know.
Yeah.
I'm not huge into like country, really.
Yeah,
but
same here.
I do like some old stuff, some Johnny Paychecks.
Okay, yeah.
But I listen to a lot of like chill out electronic stuff.
Very cool.
Groove Armada, I really
I
like
love
them.
Groove Armada, man.
Yeah, and Everything But the Girl, and like a lot of stuff like that. That's what I really like, and I do some of that on the side too. But a lot of funk, a lot of jazz, a lot of Humphreys McGee. Humphreys McGee probably, I say they're my number one band. It used to be 311 when I was in high school.
Oh yeah.
So I got all their albums.
Yep.
I've seen them like 20 times.
Wow.
Yeah, so it just depends on my mood. I listen to a lot of kind of older punk kind of stuff, not too brutal stuff. Bad Religion, No Effects. I just saw No Effects a couple weeks ago.
Little Anti-Flag,
Yeah.
Pennywise was even
Pennywise,
in a way.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I used to listen to some of that stuff.
Propaganda.
Yeah. I used to listen. I remember one of my buddies had an Anti-Flag shirt, and I can't even like describe it on air. It was so offensive, and he used to wear it to school, and they'd let him get away with it.
Yeah.
It was like. I think it was more so it's like you pick your battles with what kids you want to mess with, and just like if he's just wearing a shirt, that's the least of what he's doing wrong. At least he's wearing a shirt today. How about that?
I've had to turn shirts inside out before. So I had a Guns N' Roses shirt that had a skull and 2 like guns shooting out the eyes, and they weren't too into that. Yes.
Not a fan. I understand. It happens.
But yeah, I'll listen to classical music too. I listen to a lot of different things.
That's good, man. And like when I get in the car, it's usually jazz and classical are the first 2 on there, and then after that is 94.5 for the old school hip hop.
Yep.
But like growing up, just like you were saying, there was tons of different stuff in the home. You know what I mean? Neither one of my parents have any musical talent whatsoever. Not that they never tried; it just wasn't what they did.
Yeah.
My dad got a guitar. My mom bought my dad a guitar because my uncle played, but my dad has self-admittedly said that his fingers are too fat to play the guitar.
I play bass.
Yeah. So I got grounded for bad grades back in like 9th grade, and that's when I picked up a guitar, and that's where it all started.
Nice.
Yeah, and then from there, like my buddy had like a little sample thing, and I started, I got really interested in like what is that, you know what I mean? But it wasn't for a really long time till I started to really get interested in like producing music and sound and all that kind of stuff. I wanted to do what you did, which was to go to school for sound engineering.
Yeah.
But things happen, and it's like, well, do I want to do this or do I want to do this, and parental support on one or the other. Go to UNT or go to recording school. You can probably see which one got a little bit more weight on it.
Sure. Especially by the parents.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff you can learn on your own, too.
Yeah.
I mean, most of the people who are out there in the business doing it are really good. Didn't go to school for it. They learn. You learn by experience. And you intern at a studio or something. And
yeah, exactly. And that's what my buddy Leland from Mojo. Have you heard of Mojo yet?
I don't think I have. No.
Oh man, you need to see some Mojo, dude. Like they are awesome. I mean, it's like if you took like Gravity Feed, probably Wax Logic, and Mojo, but those three, that would be one heck of a show. And of course, I'd have to open.
Yeah.
All right.
Open and in between.
Yeah, in between. Oh man, that was a fun night. I was goofing around a lot. Yeah, was having a good time in between and then hollering at people and everything. So I had a good time that night. I left my table at Audacity though. So that's my gift to them.
There you go.
You can have that. It's
I left a little table. I had a little tray table. We went to play in Fayetteville about a year ago.
Oh yeah.
And went down there. First time ever played there, and had this little table. I put like some of the merch on, CDs and stuff like that, and I left it there. And we went back about a month and a half ago, and it was still there. I was like, "Hey man, is that my tray table?" He's like, "Yeah, it just showed up." He was like, "You can take it back." I was like, "Well, if you guys use it," he's like, "If it's yours, take it back." So he's like, "Thanks, man." A lot of DJs have put stuff on there. Drummers put drum pads and beers and stuff, I'm sure. Yeah.
All right. Apparently, my Go phone rate plan is going to renew tomorrow, so that's always nice.
There you go.
that's thank you AT&T for letting me know that. So man, what has been like one of your favorite shows that you've played? That you can remember over the years of you playing music.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it would have to be like the bigger ones, I guess.
What is like one of the bigger shows that y'all have played?
Well, we played Wakarusa Music Festival.
Nice. When did you play that?
We played in 2013.
Okay.
Which is Swamparusa.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard about that.
Oh, dude, I knew all about it. Yeah, I
crazy.
went back in 2010.
Yeah.
That was the first big festival I went to.
Was that in Arkansas or was it still in Lawrence?
Yeah, it was in Fayetteville. Yeah.
Yeah, it's out in the Mulberry Mountains. Yeah, I guess it didn't happen this last year. Who knows if it'll be going on next year? I think they're having issues. But yeah, 2013 we played on like the second biggest stage. It was just great. We did a Waka Winter Classic. It's kind of a battle of the bands type of deal.
Okay.
And you get people come in and drop their ticket in your envelope to vote for you.
Okay.
And we did that like 4 or 5 times, every year.
Yeah.
And, it's one year we got close, but we didn't win. And we actually were on a small little mini tour. We went up to Colorado for a week or so and through Oklahoma. And we got an email from the Wakarusa people saying, "Hey, would you guys like to play?" We're like, "Heck yeah, we want to play." So yeah, we got in there, and that was first like big festival. I don't think there was probably 15,000 people there that year.
Ugh.
And it was great though. I mean, I played on the same stage as Humphreys McGee.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah.
Of Mice and Men, they were really cool. There's a lot of. I think Snoop Dogg closed it down that year. So that was really cool. And yeah, we're like hanging out with all the artists in the artist area, sleeping in tents still. We didn't have the RVs or anything.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But great time. Yeah, that. And then we played I believe it was the next year after that, 2014. We actually did win the Waka Winter Classic that year in Dallas. And so that was great. We played.
Stay persistent. All right, that shows persistence will pay off in the long run.
I think it was the fifth year in a row.
Yeah, they're like, just get them in. Yeah, just get them in. These guys come every year.
maybe if we get them in, they won't come next year.
Let's just get this out of the way,
Yeah, so we did that. The other big one was we opened for Larry Carlton, the jazz guitar player.
Okay.
At Granada Theater.
All right.
It was sold out, and that was in 2009, I think. So it was shortly after we had kind of formed.
Okay.
And,
very cool.
It was great, a little bit different, that we're not quite jazz. We have some of the elements of jazz.
Yeah.
When they hear the saxophone, you're jazz, right? It's like, well, no.
Yeah.
We do improvise and we do have some, sharp 5 chords and stuff, but so we had an opener spot and I was kind of nervous. It was the first kind of bigger thing I'd done, and I remember they had it was sold out, and it's a 1,000-person venue.
Wow,
But,
nice.
But everybody, it's kind of a jazz show. They're expecting jazz, so everybody's seated.
Yeah.
They got the curtains up, and we're fit our stuff on stage. We sound checked earlier, and we got ready to go. The guy's like, "You ready?" I said, "Yeah." All right, here we go. And they opened the curtains like, oh,
1,000 people.
And just they start clapping, like, wow, okay.
Yeah,
just heart starts
1,000.
pounding.
Yeah.
Like, here we go. And
Yep.
Threw about half a song to kind of get loosened up, and then we're good.
I know how that feels, man. Like, I mean, I've never played in front of 1,000 people, but I've had shows where I'm just like, oh man, there's a lot more people here than I expected. Like I remember my first show I ever got was when I lived in Colorado. And somehow, some way, I got put on like this local spotlight is what they did, and they would have you in, and they would have a couple bands in, and they would have you in an interview on the local radio station, and then you go play a show that night.
Nice.
So that was pretty cool. But I remember there was like just 250 people like in this bar, and I was still just like, like 22-year-old, 21, 22, just kind of like, okay. Let's try to make this happen. Let's try to make some people dance and have a good time. So my question, because you were talking about going on tour, and I think a lot of people wonder, what is the process? How do you get prepared? How do you even find yourself all of a sudden having the ability to have enough shows to where you can go on tour in different states?
Yeah, well, that's got to be planned out well in advance for sure. And we haven't done anything like really extensive, about a week and a half at the most.
Yeah.
But we do get out of town a lot. But yeah, I mean, it's just, we have a few places that we've been going up to. We're going to go up to Stillwater, Oklahoma a lot. We were actually there a couple weeks ago. And so we know that, and they really like us there. We can usually get a gig there, at some point with enough notice, And so we'll plan that out. And then we had some Colorado stuff and said, well, we'll probably need a day to drive. So you got to factor that in there.
Yeah.
And it's really tough in this area. There's not a lot of, it's not like the Northeast where you got a big city, an hour, 2 hours
exactly.
away.
Yeah.
So from here to Colorado, there's not much in the way. I'm sure there are some little places, but I know about those.
No, I know exactly. Last night we were actually talking to a guy. I was working at LSA, and I had this this husband and wife, and the guy was from the Netherlands, and they had been living in Amsterdam for like the last year and a half, because that's where they met and that's where they got married. And so I asked him, I was like, well, what do you think of Texas? And he said, everything's so far away.
Yeah.
And he was like, in the Netherlands, I can ride a bike for hours because it's so flat, and then we consider Texas flat, but I guess it's pretty hilly to him. And he was, and he was like, I'm exhausted after 20 minutes of riding my bike here, and just how big the expanse of,
that's why everybody drives.
Yeah, when I lived up in the Northeast, man, you could drive through 10 states in the time you can drive through Texas.
Yeah, well, growing up down in South Texas, I mean, if you wanted to leave the state, it's going to be a day of Texas.
Yeah,
much.
exactly.
It's about 8.5 hours from here.
Yeah.
About 9 from here, I guess.
You can drive across the state for like 12 and a half, 14 hours if you really felt like it.
It's a big old state.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, getting kind of like, because I've always been interested in just like in the touring, like how it gets going. So, is this like a process of sending emails, or that you're sending? Are people contacting you guys? What is the process of getting shows in other cities beyond the Dallas Fort Worth?
Yeah, it's definitely us, contacting people and going through the people that we know. We have some friends that book a lot of our shows in Dallas, and it's called Time to Fly Music.
Okay, I actually I know who those. I don't know those guys, but I see the name, and I've played a show that had their name on it before. So
yeah, and they put together a lot of stuff and kind of handle a lot of the logistics, which is nice. And so we'll get some of that and a lot, and it's maybe half and half of that stuff and half we do on our own. And Yule and Brad, the bass player and sax player, they handle a lot of that stuff, so that's nice. And we all kind of have our roles in the band, which is nice. Dixon plays the drums. We do everything else.
Yeah. Yes, you got to rip on Dixon.
You got to rip on him.
I was supposed to play a show with him, and my hard drive crashed when he does his Mr. Molly project. So I was supposed to do that, but of course,
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't have. I couldn't do it, and my my controller was not. I was like, okay, I'll grab my old computer, which I have Ableton on. I can figure out I'll download all my tracks off SoundCloud. I'll chop them all up so I can mix them, and then I can use this extra monitor I have. And because my old computer, my screen is busted, that's why I had to get a new one a while back. And I would hook it up, and I was like, I can hook it up like that. I'll run a HDMI cable in the back of another monitor. It'll be kind of weird looking, but I'll figure some way to play this show. Nothing was working. I couldn't get anything. So I hit up my buddy Jared, and because he plays shows with me and stuff, and he doesn't produce a lot of music. He plays guitar and everything, but for the thing that would fit more of what Matt was doing that night. Like my buddy Jared is a really good DJ. Like he can mix music really well. He's got he reads the vibe of the crowd. So he sends me a text just like in the middle of it, because I'm just like sad and depressed. Like I'm not even gonna go to the show because I'm so mad I can't play it. He sends me a text at one point and he was just like, dude, this is awesome. Like whatever, what Matt was doing. And so I saw a video of it and I was like, oh man, I wish I could have played that.
Yeah, that night was a bummer. We actually had Gravity Feed was set to play up at LSA, and it was that first cold snap, and it was probably said it was going to be like 47 degrees at 9 o'clock. It's like, I'm down to play, but nobody's going to be hanging out up there.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah. I remember that. I saw that popped up. It was like, unfortunately tonight, it's not going to. And that happens up at that patio sometimes, man. It gets cold and rainy and that wind blows up, and it's not just like, oh man, now nobody's going to be here. But if there's raining and you have electrical equipment all over the place,
I've been shocked before. It's not fun.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I thought I was going to die. Yeah.
That was like at Andy's before they got their ceiling fixed. You'd be playing a show and it'd be leaking on the stage next to you. But now now they've got a brand new stage.
That's what I heard. I haven't been over there yet. We played there once, I think.
They're doing some interesting renovations over there, man. They're changing some things around, and it's still the same old dirty basement that you would go to, but upstairs, it's like there's just not that smell of mildew that the water leak, and that was the main thing. It was like, I don't even care. I love playing here. I have a great time here. If the stage falls through one day, so be it. I personally like venues that have nice sound guys. If a venue has a nice sound guy, I want to go back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a big part of it for sure.
Yeah. When you have someone, and I think you'd agree with this. I always tell anybody, they're like, hey, I'm playing a show. What advice do you give? I say, first off, find the sound guy and remember his name.
Yeah.
Like whatever, his or her name, whatever they say, say thank you when you leave, because that right there can result in you either A, getting booked, or B, not getting booked at that place again, just because you either upset or made that guy's day at night a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of sound guys like the DJ thing, because I just come in, plug in 2 cables, and they click a button and I adjust it up or down. It's not all this, okay, test this. All right.
Kick drum.
Drums, hi-hat.
Yeah.
It's such a process.
Can I get some reverb?
Yeah, can I get a little bit? So, do you use do you like to use a lot of pedals on stage, or do you keep things pretty simple? What's kind of like your setup whenever you're getting ready to go?
Yeah, I'm kind of a pedal geek. I don't have a lot on the board that I use with Gravity Feed. I say I don't have a lot. It's probably 8 or 9 pedals, which most people look at. It looks like a spaceship controller, but they all have their function. You got to have your tuner, of course.
You're not Tom Morello,
No. He actually, I don't
Mike
know. He's
Einzinger.
probably 3 or 4. Oh, yeah, that guy's got ridiculous.
See, that's how I know a good man. When I drop a Mike Einzinger and he just knows who he is.
Huge Incubus fan, man.
Oh, dude, I've got the koi fish tattooed right there. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was listening to some yesterday, actually.
Yeah, I was obsessed in my younger days, man. Obsessed, with just the way that those guys could play, and it was just like, and for Dirk, the first bassist that they had is Alex Kachuknik or something like that. That guy could just play the bass. Like, man,
I have all that old stuff from them. I was listening to them yesterday.
Fungus Among Us and all that.
Fungus, Enjoy Incubus, and Science is probably my favorite.
Oh my gosh,
I was listening to yesterday. I went and saw him in I think 99 or 2000.
I saw him in 2005 or 2006.
Yeah.
So.
They were opening for the Deftones.
Really?
And I watched Incubus and I left. It was great though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, with the pedal thing, I gotta have my tuner, and then I use 2 overdrives or tube screamers, or it's like the same model Trey Anastasio from Fish uses, or TS9 Silver Mod by Analog Man. Great pedals. I just really like the sound. They go with my amp and my guitar really well.
What kind of guitar do you play?
I play a Sur S1. It's kind of a Strat kind
Okay.
of deal. It's kind of a boutique Strat. This guy John Sir used to run the Fender Custom Shop like 20, 25 years ago, and he broke off and started doing his own thing. And they're just really high quality guitars. And I got like the base model.
Yeah.
No frills, no like crazy custom features, but yeah, it's a great guitar. I love it.
So when you sit down and you play guitar, what separates a quality sounding electronic instrument like an electric guitar from a good one from a not so good one? What are you listening for when you first go like that, or is it kind of like, hey, I can make the guitar sound how I want it to, and now it's based on a feel? How do the frets feel, strings? How does it feel against me?
Both of those things are part of it. For me, it's gotta have a good sound. I'm not super crazy about that because you do have EQ and stuff you can play around with. If a guitar is a little bass heavy, you just turn the bass down a little bit. But it's got to feel good and play good for me and be comfortable. And everybody's hands are different, everybody's guitar is different, so you got to find what works for you in your kind of playing style. Some people like the real thin neck and the kind of shredder type of people, and some people like the big fat ones you can really get in. I like somewhere in between. I'm kind of like medium with everything.
Are your strings of are they bendy easy, or what do you?
Yeah, their regular strings are 10 through 46. Okay. 9s are really light, and then 12s, 13s
I use
are
bendy
heavy.
easy, and you're like 10 through 46. Here's a professional, like I said.
Yeah, and I teach guitar too.
Very cool. Where do you do that?
I do that in Plano and Rockwall, actually.
Okay. Do you work for a school of rock, or?
No, it's something like that.
Okay, similar.
4-4 School of Music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I teach lessons there, and I do some private lessons here and there, but
right on.
That's kind of my day gig.
Right on. So when you guys go, do you guys have any music that's going to be coming out soon, or you guys just have some stuff online? Of course, I've gone and listened to the jams.
We just put out a couple of new singles, maybe a month ago.
Okay.
We maybe had a month between the two. And we don't have any recorded music happening yet. We have some videos we're going to release soon. Released one a few weeks ago. Got a lot of that. I have a good friend who comes out I went to college with, and he does a lot of video stuff, and I try to get the audio recorded in the video, and that takes a while to get everything happening.
Yeah.
So we'll be releasing some of that soon. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff out there. We have our old CD, which is you don't need to go listen to that. It's funny. It's like the first thing that pops up on iTunes. It's like, the other stuff though.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have the 3 EPs now. We've just been putting out EPs. It's like that's kind of the way to go now, or at least for us anyway.
Yeah, that's what I do. I tell people too. I'm like, I'm really not. I'm not trying to be famous or anything. I just like playing tunes.
Sure.
And
if you gotta get stuff out there.
Yeah, exactly. And if you get gigs, you get gigs. If you don't, then find out a way to get them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the way that I look at it. So what advice would you give when it comes to musicians who are looking to get a gig, and they're just, a lot of people I think are like you said, you're doing the work to send these emails to get people to say, yeah. I think a lot of people think that, hey, they're just calling, you're getting phone calls here and there. They don't understand that.
Just put your number up on your website. People call you.
No, that's clearly not the way it works. So what advice would you give to the newcomer, the kid who's, let's say, 16, 17 years old, he's jamming, he's got some buddies, and they're looking to try to find a place where they can perform. What knowledge would you bestow upon that young man?
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Well, definitely practice your craft. That's number one.
Yeah.
And get better at that. And, there's always room for improvement. But, just networking with people, going out to shows where you're not playing, just going and hanging out, and, with the type of music that you want to do or that you're doing, in that kind of scene.
Yeah.
I don't go to a lot of metal shows.
Exactly.
I dig it. Listen to it at home, but yeah, I'll go out and kind of, network with people and maybe not bug and annoy people, but just be cool.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I think that's, once again, it's something that's underestimated, is the work that has to be done by the actual musician, Like, nobody's calling me up going, hey, you want to do this? I'm networking, and that's like how did I get when I played with y'all, like at Audacity, that was probably the best lineup I've ever, no offense to anybody else, but I'm talking like as far as like, when you look at a lineup and you see like the Boombox and Gravity Feed and Star Party and then me, You know, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool to
Yeah.
me next to these names that are very well known, in the area, So like I got lucky, but that was just knowing someone, was knowing someone and not ever making that person mad, so they would want to.
Yeah.
I always told people, I was like, just be happy to be there,
Mm-hmm.
be humble and be happy that you're like there and people want to watch you,
Yeah.
actually want to watch you do it,
Yeah.
And
And the one thing that I tell a lot of younger people, and I mean, this happens a lot with like my guitar students.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do a recital or something, and hey, man, great job. You tell them great, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I wasn't, I didn't feel real good about that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like taking what the other person said and say, I don't care about your opinion.
yeah,
I always just smile and say thank you.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't the best show or whatever, you don't
Mhm.
feel the best about it, just smile and say thank you.
yeah, and most of the time,
That's a
anyways,
big
people
thing.
don't know that you messed up.
I know, yeah.
There's so much going on. You're so focused on what you're doing. That's you, but they're focused on the whole thing. The artist notices the one little brushstroke that went wrong, where the viewer sees just the whole picture. That's what I always try to remind people. Especially like if you're in the studio, you're trying to record some stuff. It's like you'll have people where it's just like, oh wait, but the hi-hat's just it's a little too high right there. I'm like,
Nobody's
no,
gonna hear that.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's
I'm that
fine.
guy.
Yeah, yeah. Are you that guy? You're
I'm
the
that
guy who's like,
guy.
wait, the hi-hat, let's go back.
Yeah, I'm very detail oriented.
That's why you got to have the sound engineers there, though,
Yeah.
to be like, stop. That's why
Yep.
so many people will say it's better to send your stuff off to get it mastered somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Because first off, they're going to hear the things that you aren't because you've heard the track so
Yep.
many times. That's why when I'm working on something, I usually will work on it and then put it away for 3 or 4 days,
Yeah.
and then come back
That's a
to
good
it
idea.
and see, hey, how does this still sound? A lot of the time, like in electronic music, when I'm working on something, and I'm wondering if this ever happens with y'all, I'll work on something at night, and then I'll wake up the next morning, and it's not nearly as
That sounds
cool as the
terrible.
idea I thought. Does
Oh,
that
yeah.
happen with you ever?
Oh, all the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, those 3 in the morning, 4 in the
Yeah.
morning, just like,
I want to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
I
is
want to know,
awesome.
what is that? What is the curse of the midnight
I don't know. I
beat making?
think it's like you get stuck in that zone and you just kind of, I guess, just zoned out and
Yeah.
you're just into it, really
Yeah.
into it.
I always wonder. I'm
Come
like,
with
are my
fresh ears.
are my ears just exhausted from sound that I'm hearing all day, just on my daily walks and things of that nature? Like, and so all of a sudden, this just sounds good because I've heard so much just stuff throughout the
Yeah.
day. Then you wake up the next morning, and you're like, this is terrible. This wasn't good at all.
Maybe there's some good parts in there that
Yeah.
you can extract from there,
Yep.
but yeah,
Yep.
definitely that happens to me. Or I'll, like, I was telling you, I come up with an idea and I'll record it.
Mhm.
I'd be like, yeah, that's a really cool riff, and I'll listen to it a couple days later. I was like, it's not that cool, or hey, that kind of sounds like whatever this or
Yeah.
that. I get stuck in that trap a little bit here and there.
Yeah,
like, oh, that
man.
sounds so much like such and such song. You gotta let a lot of that go. I think you won't get anything done.
Yeah. Have you ever found yourself, you write something and all of a sudden you take it to the buddies and they're like, hey man, that's the song.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
So
was like, yeah, but that chord progression's been around forever.
yeah. So like, I don't know. Were y'all there when I started rapping that night? I was rapping a
I don't
little
know.
bit.
No, I
So,
think we
you
had
guys
another
might-
gig that night down in
Oh
Dallas.
yeah, y'all had to leave like right away. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Stayed for a couple
so
hours, maybe.
I've been rapping for a long time, man, like
Yeah.
freestyling and everything. And for the longest time, I used to have this one line where I would say a wolf in sheep's clothing, and then I would rhyme off of that and stuff. And I never realized that it was a DMX lyric until the other night.
Yeah.
Like 2-3 weeks ago, I was in
that's
my
an
car,
old thing.
and I've been saying this for years, and I thought it was cool and original. And all of a sudden, I heard him say like, "I'm a wolf," and I just looked at the radio, and I was
Yeah.
like.
and then he yells, right?
Yeah, and then he like barks at you for some strange reason.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So yeah, man. Well, dude, how quickly an hour flies by.
That's an hour?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I know. It's always amazing how fast it goes by. So do you guys have any shows that are coming up in the coming weeks?
Man, we don't. It's holiday season.
Okay.
It's, kind of slowing down.
For sure.
Probably take a little break here.
Got to write a Christmas record.
Yeah. Well, that's already been done. Yeah, it's getting mastered right now.
Gravity Feed Christmas record.
Yeah.
December 25th.
That's
Cop
right.
it.
I don't know. Yeah, no, we don't really have anything coming up. Nothing really in the books as of yet.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of taking a little break. Our other guitar player just left.
Okay.
He's going on a cruise ship for 3 months, 4 months, and playing music.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
like, that's a cruise, all right.
Yeah.
I paid $12,000. I'll be gone for the next 3 to 4. Yeah.
No, he'll be getting paid. No, he's doing that and moving back to Wisconsin afterwards. So we're kind of bummed about that.
Man.
But, we're going to keep forging on. We're going to maybe find some new players to play with. Either, we've always had 2 guitars.
Yeah.
For a while there, we just had the 1 guitar and keys.
Okay.
And I really like the addition of keys to the band. It just adds that kind of lower layer, which is really nice.
Yeah.
And so maybe looking out for that. But we do some shows with the 4-piece. Like when we played Audacity, we played as a 4-piece.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so,
you guys do a really good job with the layering of everything in there. It all sounds real good. Your guys' sound is super, super clean too.
Thanks. We work on that a lot.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it would appear so. Because you guys, it's some definite skill. And the one thing, like, if I had to describe Gravity Feed just in like one word, it would be like consistency. Nice. Which is like if you go to a show, it's always going to be, not that you know what you're going to get, but you're going to have a good time. You know what I mean? It's like, you're going to have you guys jamming up there. You'll have the guy on the sax. You'll have you wailing. Everybody, you can kind of feel like everybody has their place in the band, and separately, everybody can do their own thing really well, and then they come together, and it forms this awesome group.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of y'all's sound, and I really like your stuff, and that's why I wanted to get at least one person from the group in here, and just talk to them.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
It's great. Man. So it's been a blast, and once again, this will be on Facebook now. So if you want to, send it to anybody, your folks, whatever. Hey, Mom, all those lessons.
Sure, yeah. She's probably watching.
Yeah, somewhere in there,
She's retired. She got nothing to do.
just knitting Kevin a sweater. Old Kevin just always playing his instrument.
That's right. Take after her.
Oh, man, that's awesome, dude. Well, hey, thanks again. Do you want to give a shout out to anybody before we head out of here?
Man, not really.
Yeah.
Shout out to Denton Radio.
Yes.
Everybody in Denton and Dallas, we love you guys. Look out for us soon, maybe in the spring. Go check out some of our music, that's all I'd say.
Yeah. Awesome, man. That's what's up. I was reading a message. Like I woke up last night yesterday I got home and I was just booked for this gig that I didn't know I was going to be booked for. But I was like, all right, I'm cool. Like I'm down with that.
Nice.
Sounds good to me, man. Well, hey, if you guys are interested, you can. Your mother actually responded and said, "I'm not knitting a sweater." LOL.
Of course she did.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm sorry.
Mom, you're embarrassing me. 35 years old.
They're always our moms. What I mean?
Right.
It doesn't matter how old you get. I realized that when I was at Thanksgiving dinner and my grandfather was like lecturing my dad. My 93-year-old grandfather lecturing my 60-year-old dad, like on life and politics and things of that nature. And I was like, all right, this is awesome. Like I see this relationship never changes. Well, once again, man, I appreciate you coming out, dude. It's been awesome. I'll actually be back tomorrow from noon to 4, and then Monday from what is it going to be? Monday is from 5 to 9. So man, I would love to get you guys back in here eventually one day. Maybe we can get Matt out of his bed and out of his PJs. See. I know you're working, Matt. I'm just messing with you.
Working.
So yeah. Well, y'all stay tuned in. We've actually got some great music, great live music that's going to be coming right here from the studio. So we hope that y'all are enjoying this wonderfully cold December 3rd day. Your rent is due if you weren't aware of this. All right. So thanks for tuning in, y'all. We will see you next time right here on Sound Values on DentonRadio.com. Thanks, everybody.